one thing that you do and you see results with your clients, Kristine?
So one thing I do is I help my clients, small business clients. I also work with big businesses still, but it's slightly different what I offer there. It's still the same area, but slightly different in terms of how the offer is expressed. But for small businesses, I offer them co-creation sessions because strategy is really, really hard. Your customer strategy, marketing strategy, your brand strategy, messaging strategy, all the same at that level, at the high level. It's really hard to do it on your own. It's hard for me to do it on my own for myself. Often we have all the thoughts in here. We've got many different thoughts in the brain, but actually articulating it, getting clear on it, getting clarity. And so what I do help my clients with working with me, which is all about co-creation. It's like 6 sessions, is co-creations, one on with me with my client, actually working together. I have templates and we work through them and I ask questions and we think about all these questions. And we actually start formulating and writing down the strategy in customer language and what it means to the customer. And what it helps them is to get real clarity. So they're getting, I call it umbrella helicopter strategy together, but my clients will say they're getting the foundations, yeah? They're getting the real foundations in place, and it allows them to step back and go, okay, I now know what my strategy is to win. Doesn't mean that it will stay the same. I can keep evolving it slowly, but I know enough to go, okay, what does this mean for now that I'm creating the details of my offer or the product and service, even when I have new stuff coming in, you go, okay, this is, I know what my target market needs. I know what I'm about. Now, what does that mean for the features? Yeah. What could that look like? So instead of creating, just going out and creating specific products, we go, okay, I have this idea about a product, but what do I need to make that product have or do to be relevant to that target market to deliver to what makes me special? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we do the same with the messaging. So it's like, instead of just guessing, it's like, okay, it's much easier. There's clarity. So I give them real clarity and confidence. And I put them back in charge of their business rather than outsourcing it to someone else. Yeah. Where they lose control and they go, I've had all this help, but I don't really know what I'm about anymore. And a lot of people I meet,
they've lost it
at the beginning. They've already been in a place where their branding isn't working, and especially their messaging isn't working. They have no clue why their messaging isn't working. And they're very frustrated. And by stepping back and going, hold on, let's start at the beginning and let's put that foundation in place, that helicopter view that I call it, in place, and then go, okay, now what does that mean for your messaging then? And there's this relief, like, I know what I'm about. I know what my promise is. I can see, because we make it big enough to creatively be able to be executed in many different ways. That's why creative brief is really powerful. We don't want to confine people. We don't want to confine businesses. We just want to make sure that they are getting inspiration from the strategy. Yeah.
Yeah. And really honing in on what they actually do.
And who they are servicing.
Yeah.
Who they're really servicing, because that's where most people, they're pretty good at understanding what they do sometimes, but most clients I work with don't really understand the target market at all.
Have no idea.
No
idea. It can change from week to week or day to day.
Well, then what happens if we change it is we will inevitably start changing our messaging too. Then we start changing the strategy. We're not even aware of it. And now we're sending out mixed messages.
Yeah.
And that does not cut through in a market where there's so much noise and busyness.
It's interesting, isn't it? To look at all these things.
We can have a great message to go, but this message was so great. I had so many views, so many impressions. It's like, yeah, but one, was it on brand? Did it actually do anything for your business? Or was it just interesting? 2 different things. 2.
So business or interest.
Yeah. So you have great influencers on LinkedIn or wherever. They have very interesting, exciting videos they find on YouTube or wherever. We all get drawn into them. But is it actually saying anything about them and their business? And is it doing anything for their business? Versus are you actually a business trying to build a relationship and build meaningful connections with your target market on a social media where they are bombarded with information? Whole nother ball game, yeah? Because now we need to actually not only get them interested and like what we put out, so a cute video ain't going to do it. We need to have a message. We need to add value. We need to come across as experts in our field. We need to stand out from others, whether we like it or not. We playing in our own lane, but we still need to stand out from others.
Absolutely. That's
So
a
with that in
priority.
mind, it's very rare that it's one message that makes or breaks you. It's
Yeah.
what you do over many messages, which is why most big advertising agencies talks about campaigns. They don't talk about a one-off. They talk about campaign, yeah? Everything in that campaign gets you back to the same message, like a strategy gets you back to the same message. And so it's not one message that makes or breaks you. It's how many messages you do that are consistent, telling people the same thing, bringing to life your brand in the same similar way that connects with them and adds value again and again in different ways to them. I'm still talking to the same promise. That's when the real impact comes. Yeah. I didn't go big. I'm pretty good at LinkedIn now. I've grown pretty big on LinkedIn. That didn't come overnight. There was a whole year of strategy in place to just slowly keep digging at it, keep putting myself out every single day with a strategy in place, which makes sure that I was pretty consistent in how I showed up. And I still am consistent in how I showed up from a year ago. I'm less nervous than I used to be, but I'm still consistent.
Yeah. And that's what it's all about. It's actually the consistency, but it's also having that confidence to know that you're doing it the right way for you and giving the message that really portrays what you do and who you are. And it is that authenticity. It's that being real and honest about you and putting you, because you're the face of your business. You're the brand of the business. You know, you've got your logo, you've got your website, you've got your name, you've got everything else, but you are the actual brand of your business. And your profile and everything is really important. People want to get to know you, and we talked about this know, like, and trust, but it is actually that message that you're portraying. Is it the right message for you? Is it what people understand? Because a lot of the time the messages can be, oh, how do you say it? I'm going to say, and it's not the right English, not understandable. It's confusing.
Happens all the time. Confusion is one of the biggest barriers often that we don't realize that we're confusing people. And sometimes people use too fancy words,
Yeah.
You
keep
know,
it simple.
Keep it simple, keep it clean, keep it clear. I actually did a little video, 40-minute video I'm going to put up in the next couple of weeks around keeping it simple, keeping it really straightforward. Don't use fancy words. Don't let people have to guess what you're doing. Make sure that it's really simple. This is who you are. This is what you do. And cut out all the extras, yeah?
Yeah, and you just bring me to something there when I was running some training courses and things, and I'd get people in specialized areas, you know, and it had to be in layman's terms, not all the fancy stuff. Even I remember a particular doctor that I used to have come in and teach in his specialty, and he always spoke in layman's terms. He was brilliant, not in the doctor jargon. He spoke in layman's terms so that the students would understand. And I think that is so important in everything that you do. Fancy words just confuse people. It doesn't make you look important or anything like that. It is actually using the language that people understand. It's real, it's raw, it's heartfelt, and how we interpret it too. So the language we use can be emotional. It can be all sorts of things. And the interpretation of what you say, and I learned this a long time ago, I would say something and someone would interpret it in a totally different way to what I meant it. So you have to be careful in what you say in the written word and in the spoken word.
Yeah. And don't underestimate the power of emotion, yeah? So let's look at the last 3 or 4 years. Fear, 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 fear. And they kept coming out with the same fear message, yeah? Different ways, but still fear. And we got you. You're safe with us, yeah? But they did it well because if we can learn from it, single-minded, emotional, knew exactly where to hit the pain points and fears in people and convey that they were going to keep you safe.
Oh,
There was very little rational parts behind it. It was all emotionally driven, but it kept hammering at you again and again in all media outlets, yeah? So
and can I say,
you amplify it then, and the message came home, yeah, to the point where some people probably got a little bit more fearful than they needed.
oh, can I say, I can't repeat words when I think about that, all that
No,
stuff,
no, you can't.
because it was a whole lot of hogwash
Yeah, but you
building the
see how it
fear.
worked, yeah?
Oh, it was for a lot of people, but for not for everyone. And it was
No?
sad. It was
Yeah.
sad. But anyway, we're not going to go there.
We're not going
Uh,
to go there, but what I want to convey is the
yeah,
power of
of
being
fear.
single-minded, emotional, understand the pain points and where people are a little rattled, and understand how to use it in your brand and communication. So we can use it for good. We can use it in a positive way. I'm very much about making people feel good.
Yeah,
I can
and
sell
that's
faster if I go on fear, but I'd call that manipulative selling. And I believe there are some coaching companies out there that are unfortunately very much using the manipulative way of selling, and they will sell $20,000 courses like that over a weekend. And next thing you know, you're sold into paying that off for the next 3 or 4 years, and you get nothing out of it most of the time.
yeah, and I'm not going to go there either
No.
because it's so true. But it's interesting to look at how the emotion does play a part in selling and the fear of missing out and all that sort of stuff. And it, if you pay for a course that costs you 20, 30, 40, 60, $100,000 and you get all this stuff and you don't do the work, you don't have anyone to blame but yourself. But it was the hype and everything that created the emotion for you to want to buy it and not miss out on it.
Exactly. You go to a 3-day event where they literally take you down, break you down, and then build you up again. And here's the solution. Yeah.
Oh, look, I call it the shiny object syndrome. Well, no, shiny object 101. That's
Oh,
what I call
yeah.
it
But I'm
because
all
that's
about
what it
feeling
is.
good. Yeah. It's
Oh,
about
yeah.
making people feel good, but that's a long game. But I generally believe in it. People will stick with you and they will refer you more if you can make them feel good.
Honesty. It's honest. It's all about honesty and getting people to see the brilliance and the magic in themselves so that they can portray that to the world and stand out from the crowd. It's not about all this other stuff that you can use to create the emotion that people want it. When they get it, they don't do anything with it, and then they criticize you and say, well, I didn't get anything from that. Why did I pay that? Now I have to keep paying it, blah, blah, blah. But it
And
is,
sometimes they don't get anything for their money. Let's get real.
yes, they don't.
Especially in the
They don't.
marketing area.
Yeah, they don't. They don't. It's really, oh gosh. Oh, we could talk about
We can
this.
talk about that's a whole nother conversation. I'm not
Oh,
go there, but I do
yeah.
honestly believe in, be honest, be authentic, be yourself, play the long game, be willing to play the long game, but at least you are in charge, you own you feel good about you, and you help your customers feel good too, because you're giving them real value.
Yeah, and you're making them feel, yeah, you be honest with you and you be honest with whomever you're working with and give them the confidence to feel good in themselves so they can pursue whatever they need to do and go
Empower.
forth and create, yeah, give them power, go forth and create whatever it is that they want to create and do it really well and confidently in the honest way. Authenticity
Yeah,
is
that's what I'm all about, including the
mm,
other last thing I will say is, and I'm doing this, but it is a long game. I'm much more at pulling people in than pushing myself on people. So you'll find that I never ever will send you anything about trying to pitch you right here and then. Yeah. For me,
mm,
it's building relationship, because I am a service business. I am the IP. So for me, it's relationship building, and it's also me getting to know the people and qualifying the people I want to work with, and
yeah,
then letting them
true.
qualify me to make sure that there is a match, because that's when we're going to have good results and we're going to say good things about each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. 100% there. It's so true. And okay, we're coming to the end of the show. So, what tips would you give a small to medium sized business if they're just starting out, or if they've been in business for 3 to 4 years and they're still struggling, what would you say to them?
Well, obviously, we would have to look at if they're still struggling, what's actually determine where they're struggling and why that might be. But my big thing in what I'm doing with small business is to educate people on the importance of having a overall umbrella strategy in place that holds it all together, and creating that strategy first and keep evolving it and getting really good at strategy. Because if we want to win, we got to have a strategy in place. You don't play chess without a strategy. You don't go to war without a strategy either. So we want to have strategy in place.
And that's so true. You don't go to war without a strategy, do you? You could create mayhem there. So going in
Sometimes that
into
is unfortunately the strategy, but having said that, you don't win like without a strategy. Yeah.
true, true. But well, they do have a strategy. They have to have, I mean, some form of strategy.
Yeah.
But
Sometimes it's cause mayhem. Yeah,
yep,
unfortunately.
yep, true. It's I don't know what I want to say. There's so many things that I want to say. But if you're in business and you are struggling at anything, I would say have a conversation with Kristine.
Bless you. Thank you.
How do they get in contact with you, Kristine?
So I'm on LinkedIn, Kristine Bell. That's where I spend most of my time. So you can find me there. I'm also on Facebook, Kristine Bell with a K, I-S-T-I-N-E, Bell. So you can find me there too. I guess that's the best place to find me.
Good, good, excellent.
Just connect and get to know me and watch me without, you don't even have to engage. You can just watch me if you want to watch me for a little while.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.